Hello everyone and welcome. With this video, we will have finished the half of harmony 3, the advanced level, and we will have finished the first 3 tours of harmony 3, and of course, we have still 3 more tours to finish harmony 3 completely. At the beginning of this serial videos, at the beginning of them, I thought that we would finish them in 4 months. But as you know, in the middle of the intermediate level, I added the harmony 5, which is about vocabulary study. So from the half of harmony 2, we have been studying to increase our vocabulary. When we finish harmony 3, we will have finished 4 books. We will have finished 4 harmonies, including harmony 5. And then I don't know whether I will achieve it or not, but I am planning to make videos about topic discussions. Yes, there are about 40 topics, and of course presentations about them. I am sure it will help. Us to be able to use all that we have learned about vocabulary and English in a harmonious way. Yes, I hope I will accomplish it, but I am not, of course, sure about it. I don't know what will be in the future, but I have that kind of idea about making videos about harmony 4. Harmony 4 is all about topic discussions, and it includes, as I said, more than 40 topics, 40 popular topics. Okay, now let's go on and finish this tour 10, the last trip of tour 3, trip 10. Let me share presentation. Okay, all right. Yes, let's remember our motto. The first step is always the hardest. May the result be the best. Okay, I hope it will be a useful result. Okay. Now let's concentrate on our subject connected with or related to relative clauses. Okay. Now there are 1, 2, 3 gifts, and there is a young man. He is very eager. To collect the waste at the shore, on the shore, at the seaside. Yes. Okay. And the second one says clothing, soft foam bottles, other clothing. Yes. Ocean, yes, clean up. They are doing clean up. They are cleaning up the shore of the ocean. Good morning, and after cleaning, of course, good morning. Enjoy the motion of the ocean after cleaning up the seaside. Okay, trip 10. Some prepositions are used before who, for example, to whom, from whom, for who, okay, and which. For example, where, when it comes to where, we should immediately remember it as in which, at which, on which, etc. When, on which, in which, at which, etc. And when it comes to why, when we see why, we should remember for which. Okay. I remember the morning, for example, I remember the morning in which environmentalists cleaned the seaside. So as we say in the morning, so we say, I remember the morning in which environmentalists cleaned the seaside. Or, as you know, in which also means where, okay? I remember, sorry, when, about time, in which also means when. I remember the morning when environmentalists cleaned the seaside. You see the difference? In which or just when. I remember the morning when environmentalists cleaned the seaside. But which morning or day do you remember? So we use in before morning, on before days. So for example, I remember the day on which, okay? I remember the day on which we took some photographs. Or I remember the day when we, okay? When we took some photographs. When here means on which we took some photographs. For example, on Monday, on Tuesday, okay? I remember the day on which we took some photographs, or I remember the day when we took some photographs. Let's go on. Okay, there are, yes, images here. But the first image says, what are professional ethics and why are they important? Yes, professional ethics or job ethics. Code of ethics, also code of ethics or code of conduct is enough, I think. Yes, integrity is very important. What does integrity do? Integrity is necessary for maintain honesty and clear communication in the workplace. Teamwork, work together to get the job done. Yes, teamwork is necessary to work together to get the job done. Objectivity, yes, it's about justice. Yes, don't make career decisions based on whom you like best. Be objective, be unbiased, be fair. Okay. Confidentiality maintains clients' confidence at all times. Yes, confidentiality really counts. Growth, always pursue professional growth, of course. It is the purpose, for example, the purpose of a tree is to give fruits. So the purpose of a company, for example, is to grow and to produce and to sell, to market very well and to sell a lot of things very well. Okay, I remember my father. I remember my father from who I learned professional ethics or code of ethics, conduct of ethics, professional ethics or job ethics. I think all of them are true. Who do you remember? Who? Who is he? Who do you remember from whom you learned the importance of clean environment? I remember my uncle from whom I learned the importance of clean environment. Now, dialogue one. The person to whom I spoke yesterday is Osman Bey, who is a literary critic, or because of who plus one of the variations of to be, for example, emzar, was, were, being, be, okay? We can omit it. So the person whom I spoke yesterday is Osman Bey, who is a literary critic. So we can omit also the first one, the person I spoke yesterday, okay? I spoke, yes, is Osman Bey. Osman Bey, a literary critic. Okay, let's do it together. Let me copy here and see it by performing. Okay, let's take it into parentheses like this and do this together. For example, the person because of whom and I, okay, because there are two subjects here, we can omit the relative pronoun here like this. To whom, we can delete it, okay? The person I spoke yesterday is Osman Bey. Let's delete this one. Osman Bey, comma, yes, Osman Bey, a literary critic. Who is the person you spoke to is already reduced, okay? Who is the person whom you spoke to yesterday? Let's put whom here. Who is the person who or whom? Okay, who you spoke to yesterday. Okay, now it becomes like this in a reduction form, reduced form. This is reduction. The smaller way, okay, the most practical one. The person I spoke yesterday is Osman Bey, a literary critic. Who is the person you spoke to yesterday? Hassan Bey is the person I spoke to yesterday. Or, according to this one, Hassan Bey is the person whom I spoke to yesterday. I think it's clear. Now, dialogue 2. My grandfather was the person from whom I learned coherence. Who was the person you learned diplomacy from? Well, you can say, of course, I learned diplomacy from my grandfather, okay? Or my grandfather and my grandmother was the person from whom I learned diplomacy, from whom I learned diplomacy, or from whom I learned diplomacy from. Sorry, my grandmother was the person whom I learned diplomacy from, or from whom I learned diplomacy. He is the coach from who you can get some tips on basketball. Where is there a village in which I can compile some folk songs? There is a village over there in which you can compile some folk songs. Okay, these are really important. I remember the day on which, the month in which, because we say in January, in February, okay, on Monday, on Tuesday. So I remember the day on which. I remember the month in which. I remember the date on which, okay? I remember the date at the hour at which, at 5 o'clock, at 3 o'clock, okay? I remember the hour at which. I remember the morning in which. I remember the night at which we organized a tour to Europe. Who remembers the day on which we will set off? On which, yes. So Jafer remembers the day on which we will set off. Okay, let's change it into hour, for example. Who remembers the hour at which we will set up? Jafer remembers the hour at which we will set up, or everybody remembers the hour at which we will set up. 5, I can guess the reason. I can guess the reason for which the writer wrote that book. Who can guess the reason for which he didn't accept the prize for his book? Yes, you will put just the subject here. Neriman can guess the reason for which he didn't accept the prize for his book. Who is the person? Now, the man in the front seat of the car is Mr. Miles. The man, for example, in the room, okay? The man in the front, in the car, yeah? The man in the front seat of the car is Mr. Miles. Who is the person in the back seat of the car? Mrs. Miles. Mrs. Miles is the person in the back seat of the car. Who is the person in the driver's seat? Julide is the person in the driver's seat. So these are the sentences of beginner and elementary levels. You know them. I am sure you know them very well. Of course, if you have studied all those topics up to now. What about this? Now, intermediate and advanced level sentences. Okay. Who is the person who that is in the car? Okay. Who is in the car or that is in the car? Who is the person that is in the car? The man who is sitting, okay, or the man that is sitting in the front seat of the car is Mr. Miles. Who is the person that is sitting? Yes, that is sitting in the back seat of the car. Mrs. Miles is the person that is, or who is sitting in the back seat of the car. Who is the person who is sitting, sorry. Who is the person who is or that is sitting in the driver's seat of the car? Jasmine is the person that is sitting in the driver's seat of the car. What about this? The reduced form. The man, yes, without who and that, okay? The man sitting in the front seat of the car. For example, the crying child. We talked about that kind of expressions in elementary and intermediate levels. Yes, the man sitting in the front seat of the car. The child crying in the room. Okay, the man walking in the mornings. Okay, the man sitting in the front seat of the car is Mr. Miles. Who is the person sitting in the back seat of the car? Yasemin is the person sitting in the back seat of the car. Who is the person sitting in the driver's seat of the car? Jale is the person sitting in the driver's of the car. So these are all about intermediate and advanced levels. Okay. Check out that watermelon seller in the portrait. This is the old man, a normal sentence. This is the old man. He sells watermelons. So you see that this one advanced sentence is much better. Yes, this is the old man who sells watermelons. This is the old man that sells watermelons. Okay, and the image says it is imperative, it is vital, it is crucial, it is important, okay? It is important to understand what qualified immunity is, but it is even more critical to understand what it is not. Okay. Okay. What makes a good police officer? What makes a good police officer? Okay. More about relatives. Now, two. I met a policeman. Simple past tense. Okay. He was very helpful. Again, we started them at the beginning of intermediate level. Past of to be. He was very helpful. But what about the sentence? I met a policeman who was very helpful. This is this. A policeman helped me. He was very helpful. A policeman who was very helpful helped me. A policeman that was very helpful helped me. Now, three, Burhan is Tariq's brother. He likes fishing very much. These are elementary level sentences. Burhan is Tariq's brother who likes fishing very much. Yes. Can we omit who here? Who here? Burhan is Tariq's brother? No, we cannot omit because he is the subject. Who is the subject pronoun here? Okay. Sorry. He is the subject pronoun. Who is the relative pronoun for subject? So only one subject. So we cannot omit it. We leave it original. Burhan is Tariq's brother who likes fishing very much. Burhan, who likes fishing very much, is Tariq's brother, is also possible. Burhan is Tariq's brother. He likes fishing very much. So Burhan is Tariq's brother who likes fishing very much. Or Burhan, this is Burhan, who likes fishing very much, is Tariq's brother. He is Tariq's brother. 4. A traffic warden is somebody. He makes sure parking laws are obeyed. So, a traffic warden is somebody who makes sure parking laws are obeyed. 5. Yes, these are so simple but so effective and useful. A nurse is someone, she looks after the patients. A nurse is someone who looks after the patients. Okay, and we cannot omit it. Only one subject. Subject pronoun and relative pronoun who. Okay, a day in the life of a nurse. 6, an optician is somebody. He or she tests eyes and describes glasses. An optician is somebody who tests eyes and prescribes glasses. The young man arrived yesterday. Which young man? The young man arrived yesterday. We don't have any definition about it. He is the new inspector. Oh, but we need a second sentence. So let's change it into adjective clause. The young man who arrived yesterday is the new inspector. The man was walking at the seaside with a lovely cat. He was the head of a club. The cat was colorful with 2 different eye colors. One of them is blue, the other one is yellow. So the man that was the head of the club was walking at the seaside with a lovely cat, that was colorful with 2 different eye colors. The cottage was very nice. The cottage was very nice. It was close to the forest and the sea. The cottage, which was close to the forest and the sea, was very nice. He is the person. I saw him on the advertisement of a camera. So he is the person whom I saw on the advertisement of a camera, or who I saw. who I saw on the advertisement of a camera. So we can omit whom here because there is already a subject. He is the person I saw on the advertisement of a camera. Keanu Reeves is a film star. Yes, everybody knows this. He is a famous film star. You can watch him in Matrix. Keanu Reeves is a film star whom you can watch in Matrix, or just Keanu Reeves is a film star you can watch in Matrix. 12, I have got a compass. It is a reward for you. I have got a compass, which or that is a reward for you. I will give it to you. A compass is something, it shows the directions. It's very necessary for the sailors. A compass is something which or that shows the directions and which is very necessary for the sailors. So we cannot omit the first which and that, which or that, but we can omit the second which or that. Or that is. With together or with to be. With to be together. We can omit both of them. Okay. So let's read the reduced form. A compass is something which shows the direction and very necessary for the sailors. 13, the business person is the oldest. He is Steve's father. The business person who is the oldest is Steve's father. And Steve is a young entrepreneur, enterpriser. Okay. The dentist was very friendly. We met him yesterday. Okay. The dentist whom or that we met yesterday was very friendly because he works with a friendly dental group. 15, I have two friends. They work at a bookshop. I have two friends who or that work at a bookshop. 16, I saw the dietitian. He advised you. I saw the dietitian. He advised you a kind of healthy diet and you advertised him everywhere and everybody. I saw the dietitian who or that advised you a kind of healthy diet and whom you advertised everybody, everywhere and everybody. What are clients' expectations from a dietitian? It says like this. 17, we met the optician. You advised us him. We met the optician whom or that you advised us. Peter is very upset. His elder son moved to Paris without informing him. Yes. Peter, whose elder son moved to Paris in the past, a few weeks ago, without informing him, is very upset. So Peter is very upset now. Why? Because his elder son moved to Paris without informing Peter. Please note, yes, this is really important. Whose is a relative pronoun which takes the place of possessive adjective pronouns. My, your, his, her, its, including its, okay? Our, your, their. For example, the table is an antique. Its surface is full of small paintings and drawings. So the table whose surface is full of small paintings and drawings is an antique. 21, I had a conversation with a professor. His ideas are quite interesting. I've had a conversation with a professor or lecturer whose ideas are quite interesting. 20. The nurse left the hospital in a hurry. Her mother had become ill. The nurse, whose mother had become ill, left the hospital in a hurry. Did you recognize the detective? His name was Nick. Did you recognize the detective whose name was Nick? So his is an adjective or adjective possessive pronoun, but whose is a relative pronoun here, and whose name was Nick is a relative clause. Detective whose name was Nick. 23. In Bursa, there is a worldwide university. Its name comes from a village nearby. Görükle village is here, and this is Görükle campus. Okay. In Bursa, there is a worldwide university whose name comes from a village nearby. Okay. Although it is non-living, we can also use whose, but of course, of which is also possible like this. In Bursa, there is a worldwide university of which name comes from a village nearby. Okay, for example, we studied this before. The boy shouted joyfully. His computer was fixed. The boy whose computer was fixed shouted joyfully. Now, the boy is now, again, still, for example, at the moment, the boy is shouting cheerfully. His computer has been fixed. The boy whose computer has been fixed is shouting cheerfully. 25. The press took different photos of the most successful student. His marks had been the highest, and his parents were the proudest and the happiest in the ceremony. The press took different photos of the most successful student whose marks had been the highest and whose parents were the proudest and the happiest in the ceremony. Have you seen the tower? Its top interior is a restaurant. Yeah, a question and an explanation, another sentence. There are two sentences. Have you seen the tower whose top interior is a restaurant? Or have you seen the tower, the top interior of which is a restaurant? So this is why we should also know that whose also means of which. Have you seen the tower of which top interior is a restaurant? Or have you seen the top interior of which is a restaurant? And we will study that kind of sentences, I think, in the third or fourth video. In the third video, I think. This is the second. Okay. 27. Look at that tower. There is an elevator in it. Okay. Look at that tower where there is an elevator, or look at that tower in which there is an elevator. Look at that tower which there is an elevator. There is an elevator in. Okay. There is an elevator in, or in which there is an elevator. Where there is an elevator. Clause, relative, adjective clause. 28. There is a hotel. These are normal clauses, normal sentences. Yeah, there is a hotel. It is very suitable for you. But this is not a simple sentence. It's a adjective clause. There is a hotel which is very suitable for you. There is a hotel that is very suitable for you. Now, quiz time. Let's do it from the key. Can you tell me today when your first child was born? Can you tell me the day, when, the date, when, the year, when, the month, when? Okay. But can you tell me the day on which your first child was born? Can you tell me the year in which your child was born? Can you tell me the month in which, again? Can you tell me the hour at which your first child was born? But in short, can you tell me the day when your first child was born? Would you like to visit the company blank? Our old friend works. So people work for a company, okay? Work for a company, work for. Would you like to visit the company for which our old friend works? 3, could you please talk about your partner blank you attended the driving course? Yeah. Could you please talk about your partner with whom you attended the driving course? 2019 was the year blank you enrolled at this school. Yes, year in which 2019 was the year in which you were enrolled by the authorities or you yourself enrolled active at this school. Both are possible. You enrolled active, you were enrolled by the authorities is passive. Okay. The last one, that's the department store blank we used to buy. We used to buy, purpose, to buy leather coats and overcoats. Okay. That's the department store at which, used to form in the past, we used to buy. Yeah, intonation is important in English. Let me read it once more. That's the department store in which we used to buy leather coats and overcoats in the past. Okay, now vocabulary study. Let's try to increase our vocabulary. Okay, how can our body sustain its health? Sustain, maintain, these are really beautiful, useful words. Okay. Sustain, sustainable, sustainability, sustainable energy source. Okay. Or keep it in existence. Sustain also means keep it in existence, corroborate, reinforce, support. Our body can sustain its health by consuming fresh and heatful cooked foods. How else can our body sustain its health? It can sustain itself by consuming fresh and heatfully cooked foods, by eating slowly and socially, by sustaining a materially and spiritually healthy lifestyle, with a balanced diet, etc., etc. Yes, these are all important for our body to sustain its health. DNA is like operating system of the body. DNA is like operating system of. We have to take proactive steps to oranges within 2 days. The DNA is like a stamp of the body. Yeah? Is the user of our body. Yeah. Instead of we can put our. DNA is like operating system of our body. We have to take proactive steps. 2 oranges within 2 hours, 25% enhances the body. 1 or 2 kiwis protects the damage to the body. Vary, change, alter, diversify, differ, vary. It varies from person to person and according to age, but in general, we need maximum 4,000 calories a day. In general, minimum. How many calories do we need in a single day? In general, we need 2,000 calories in a single day. Okay. Various as an adjective, different, yeah, changeable, different, diversified. Passive, passive, adjective from passive, diversified by someone, something. There are various ways of solving a problem. Solving, active. Yeah. There are various ways of solving a problem. What kind of problems can people have? Of course, people can have physical problems, psychological problems, social problems, financial problems, environmental problems, okay, etc., etc. Inform as a verb, inform of, about, or inform that, okay. Shipment, goods carried by a large vehicle, the act of sending of something. Larry will inform Halit, okay, Larry will inform Halit. When or that, yeah, when the package is sent off from the laboratory. Who will inform Halit about the shipment fee? Furkan will inform Halit about the shipment fee. I think Refik would enjoy a career in education. In which career area or field do you think Selma would enjoy a career? I think Selma would enjoy a career in the educational area, educational field. Okay, this is the end of our video today, and thank you for everything, and see you next time in the next video.